Happy New Year! Or should I say, Happy Who Year? No, I shouldn't. Today I'll be looking ahead to what Doctor Who has in store for us in 2024. Later I'll be looking at some of the DVD and Blu-Ray releases, but first the show itself. We know that it will be returning in May for 8 episodes plus a Christmas special. But what will they contain? Well, it seems episode 1 will not be the usual fresh start. The Christmas special ended with Millie joining the Doctor in the TARDIS, about to ask him all the usual questions like, are you a time traveller? How did you get this massive room in this tiny box? What's the deal with Mrs. Flood? So for new viewers, they will have to show that conversation. But just jumping right into it might be a bit off-putting. So we may get a reprise of the last few minutes first, or they might just show it for the Doctor's point of view instead. We'll just have to wait and see. From the trailer at the end, we do know some of the settings that they will be visiting. There's one episode set in the 60s, where they meet the Beatles, recording one of their hits at Abbey Road. So that should be a lot of fun. Then there's one that looks to be set in the 1800s, with everyone in elaborate costumes, and Jonathan Groff as a guest star. He has been rumoured to play a time agent like Captain Jack, but that could just be speculation, as Groff has had a similar career to Barrowman, only without the allegations. We also know Jinx Monsoon is going to appear in at least one episode. The fact that their costume has piano keys on it just suggests that that could be episode 2, which is entitled The Devil's Chord, but I suppose that could also refer to the Beatles episode. Either way, Groff and Monsoon are both singers, so it looks likely we could be getting at least one more musical number at some point. And surely the fact that Ruby is in a band is bound to come back at some point. The behind-the-scenes show, Doctor Who Unleashed, showed that there is at least one episode where they visit a dark abandoned space station. So it looks like there will be a bit of sci-fi horror added into the mix. And there's definitely at least one story set in the present day, as we see Mel returning, as well as Donna's daughter Rose. No doubt there will be some explanation for why the 14th Doctor and Donna are absent, but it's probably far too soon for them to make a return. We don't yet know what any of the villains of the series will be. It's possible they may get through the whole season without using Daleks, Cybermen or the Master. All of them were used in Jodie Whittaker's last episode, so it would make sense to rest them for a while. Instead, it looks like we'll be getting more abstract threats. The Toymaker has said that his legions will be coming, whatever that means. We've had the One Who Waits teased as being more powerful than the Toymaker, and the Bogeyman has been mentioned in interviews. Presumably not Fungus the Bogeyman from the Raymond Briggs book, but rather the stuff of childhood nightmares. And the trailer showed a glimpse of some sort of giant slug, who may or may not be one of the Tractators from Frontios. It wouldn't be the most obscure alien that Russell T Davies has brought back, but it would certainly be up there. The Christmas special has set up several mysteries to be resolved in the upcoming season. We don't know who the woman was who left baby Ruby at the church, presumably her mother, but possibly not. With the time travel element, there is a possibility that it could even be Ruby herself, but that may be too obvious. But it could also be any female character who's ever been in the show, from Susan to Romana to the Rani. The same goes for the mysterious Mrs. Flood, the Deadpool of the Whoniverse who casually breaks the fourth wall. Her name suggests that she could be related to Amy Pond or River Song, but that could be just a red herring. And she does seem quite normal in the rest of the episode, so addressing the audience could just be some alien force taking her over. That's about all we know for sure at the moment. There are also rumours that a Unit spin-off will start filming this year, so I would expect announcements about that in the next few months. They've already built up a regular cast for the Unit series, with Kate Stewart, Shirley Ann Bingham, Colonel Ibrahim, Mel Bush, and the Vlinks. Rose and Donna are also possibilities, but the 14th Doctor will probably be off limits. If you bring in the Doctor, especially one with the TARDIS, then it just becomes Doctor Who again. So what's the point of doing this spin-off? Outside of the main show, there's going to be a ton of merchandise to look forward to. The colorised version of the Daleks is coming out on DVD and Blu-ray on the 12th of February. I thought it was an interesting experiment, but the colorisation works a lot better than the editing they did to cut it down to 75 minutes. There's definitely going to be at least one more colorisation of a black and white serial. Which one is anyone's guess? But for commercial reasons, they will probably go with a Dalek or Cyberman story. If I was a betting man, then Tomb of the Cybermen would probably be a good bet. We also know that the next animated version of A Missing Story will be the Celestial Toymaker. This has been criticised for having rather ugly 3D animation, but I think that's a good thing. With stories like The Smugglers or The Highlanders, you want them to be as realistic as possible. But with more fantastical stories like the Celestial Toymaker or the Space Pirates, you can afford to have more experimental visuals. The fantastical setting of the Toymaker's realm surely allows for all kinds of weird stuff to be going on that would never have been achievable in a 1960s TV studio. So I'll be interested to see how that one turns out. I will also be dipping my toe into the ocean that is the Blu-ray collection this year. I haven't bought any of them so far, as I own most of the stories on DVD, but this month I will be making an exception. My current rewatch of the show is up to season 16, and you should be getting my video of the Ribos operation next week. But January 22nd will see the release of season 17 on Blu-ray, the standard edition, not the limited version. I'm not made of money, and I think I will definitely pick that one up. There are at least 3 stories from that season, which I don't already own, plus there's a whole bunch of new extras, which I'm looking forward to seeing, so it should definitely be worth it. Big Finish will also be carrying on with releasing dozens of audios next year, with stories like Unit versus the Zarbi, or River Song versus the Chumbleys. I'm not even going to start going through the whole list. I'm sure there's plenty of other channels who will do that sort of thing. Personally, I did follow the Once and Future series throughout 2023, which was a bit of a waste of time looking back. Some of them were pretty good, like the one with David Tennant and Michelle Gomez. Possibly the only time those two have ever appeared together, but it definitely shouldn't be the last. But overall, it just dragged on way too long. And there's one final release to come this November. There's still no word on who will star or why it's been delayed so long. I've already forgotten most of the details of the story, so hopefully there will be a recap at the start. As well as Once and Future, I spent most of 2023 following the Doomsday event, which spread across all sorts of mediums, books, audios, mainly books and audios. It wasn't well received in general, but I was definitely a fan of it, tweeting my support with every new release. And I think Sue Scampner may still have a restraining order out on me. But who knows, maybe they'll do a sequel this year. Doomsday 2, or Doomsnight even. I'll certainly be the first in line. Well, that's about all I know at the moment about Doctor Who in 2024. There's bound to be more news coming out every week, so this video is likely to be outdated as soon as I post it. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for further coverage of everything I've covered in this video, and I'll see you next time.